Welcome, folks. This is Sherman Ray. This is Black Success Magazine, the podcast. I want to welcome you all to the show today. It's midweek in the valley that never sleeps, the city of Las Vegas, folks. Yeah, I know. Sound like I should be on a radio station or something like that, right? Well, I want to welcome you all to the show. I'm Sherman Ray. I'm the publisher of Black Success Magazine, and we come here each and every week just to talk to you about hopefully things that will motivate you into getting off your butt, getting into life, that kind of stuff, and this show today is a continuation of that. Last week we actually talked to you about life coach, about having a life coach and not having that kind of person in your life, and we kind of explained the difference between what a life coach does and what they claim they can do. And I'm putting stuff away here because I got some ideas in my head here that I don't want to lose these while I'm moving things around. And why it's so important to have a life coach and how they can benefit you, that kind of thing. And this week we're going to talk a little bit more about coaching, but we're going to actually talk about health and fitness coaches. Yeah, I know. Isn't that interesting? This is actually going to be a really pretty cool segment where we're going to talk about health and fitness coaches. There is a difference. Okay, for some of you, I know you're probably thinking, oh, well, they're the same thing, but no, they're actually two totally different things. So, sorry, I'm writing something down here because I had an idea and I was going to talk to you about, and then of course the thought just went right out of my head. It was so fleeting. That's the way it goes sometimes, isn't it? It's kind of the way it is. So next year, when we hit the new year, we're going to actually be doing a lot more Black Success Magazine. We're going to actually publish the magazine itself. Even though, and I know some of you are keeping up with my alternate lifestyle or my main thing that I do, you're saying, well, Sherm, how are you doing all this stuff? Because you're into so many things. Well, I just am so interested in so many things. We've already passed off a few things, so people are running those things for us, and now we're into doing Black Success Magazine, and we're launching a new ministry, which I'm just so passionate about. I really am. I think it's my true calling in life. My true calling in life is actually to inspire people to know who their maker is, and that is. And so I'm a pastor. We are just launching a new church, and it's called Sage Stone Church. So we'll tell you more about that later. But very excited about that. But today we're going to be talking more about, Black Success Magazine and getting into that even more and more as as the year progresses. So I'm looking really forward to that. Let's talk. Well, let's do this. Let's take a really quick break. We're going to take a really quick break. We'll be back in just a second with more Black Success Magazine, and I'll talk a little bit more about health and fitness coaching. We're right back. Back, folks. I love that music there. So thank you, folks. We're right back. We're talking a little bit about Black Success Magazine. We're talking about the next year that's going to be coming up. I'm hoping you guys are all setting goals for yourself. I believe next week we're actually going to be talking about setting goals for the 2024 season. I really believe that this is probably going to be one of the most pivotal years of our lives. And if you don't start planning for it now, I'll tell you, you're really going to be missing the boat. So really encouraging you to all get into it. So let's talk about health and fitness. And why are we really going to be talking about health and fitness? Well, I had this notion, I don't know, maybe a year ago. And some of you, if you know my background, I was a gymnast. I was in the junior athletic, junior Olympics, that kind of stuff as a gymnast. And then I was an entertainer for many years, traveling around the world, that kind of stuff. So I was used to being around people who are highly motivated people who are at the top of their game. I played with some of the best musicians in the world. Played at Caesar's Palace, played at the Sands, that kind of stuff here in Las Vegas, and all over the world, Monte Carlo. And so I'm well acquainted with working with people who are high at the top of their game. And so I considered myself a finely tuned, athlete, for lack of a better word. And what's the difference between an athlete and somebody who works in a professional capacity, whether you're a lawyer, a doctor, or, you're a civil servant or anything like that, or you're a teacher? There's really no difference between you. You're all professionals in your game. You just happen to be an athlete in a different phase of life. I hope you get this. Once again, I'm going to say it again. There's really no difference between somebody who plays in the NFL, the NBA, soccer, Major League Baseball, hockey, or anything like that, boxing, MMA, who goes out and gets a professional trainer to train them. There's no difference between that person who's in the sports athletic realm as there is somebody who is a doctor, lawyer, butcher, baker. If you are earning significant money, if you are wanting to earn significant money, if you are wanting to be a highly sought after person, why shouldn't you treat yourself like a top athlete? And I'm serious about this. And I got this in my spirit. When I was a singer, guess what I did? Actors do this too. Actors, singers, models, those kind of people. They hire the best people to take care of them. They hire the best people to make their food, get their clothes, to, all the stuff that they do, because they know that they have to have a high level of performance. Why don't you, as a business owner, do the exact same thing for yourself? I don't think this is improbable. I don't think it's ridiculous. If you want to be at the top of your game, you want to perform, you want to be paid, you want to be rewarded for what you do, then you need to treat yourself like a rock star. You need to eat the best foods. You need to go to bed at the right time. You need to do all the things that you need to do that any other athlete, because that's what you are. You are a pro, whatever you are. You're a pro lawyer. You're a pro doctor. You're a pro candlestick maker. You're a pro cobbler. You're a pro carpenter. If you want to get paid the money, folks, right? And if you want people to say, if you want to be an expert in your field, now I'm not talking to people who just want to get by. If you want to just get by in life and you just want to party till it's like it's 1999, you do what you're going to do. But if you're listening to this podcast, it's because you believe that you want to get to the next level. And that's what this is all about. This is really about you becoming the best you possible. Do you want to be able to walk in, let's say you're working for somebody. You want to be able to walk into your boss and say, I deserve this because I am the bad boy. I'm the bad girl. I'm the best that there is. And look at me. I walk in. And you don't come in and swagger, and throw your stuff around. But because some people do that. I've seen people do that. They come walking and they go, "Yo, what's up? What's up?" And I'm going, "That's enough." We'll talk about that in just a second. About the way I'll have to write down a note on this speech. I know. Some people walk in the room and they put on airs and they act like they're Snoop Dogg or something like that. There's only one Snoop Dogg, you guys. He is a phenom, and he got his thing. And there's nothing wrong with Snoop. I mean, I'm not Snoop. He's a different thing than what we do here. There's nothing wrong with Snoop. He does his thing. But for the vast majority of us, we want to become the best version of us. And that's really what this is all about. So that's why we're going to talk today about health and fitness coaching and what's the difference between a health instructor and a fitness instructor, and what they can do for you and what they can't do for you. I highly recommend that you get into a physical regimen each and every day. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You cannot expect to be at the top of your game every day when you need to be if you are not physically fit, if you're not working hard to make yourself great, if you're not taking care of this and this and this, your mind. Right now, you're taking care of this. You're taking care of your mind. Okay, reading books. I mean, I've got books everywhere. You don't see them behind me. I've got another room over here where I've got shelves of books. But got books everywhere, tapes. As a matter of fact, today, that's what I was remembering. I'll write it down so I can get that. You've got to feed yourself. And one of the best ways you can do that, one of the easiest ways, we'll talk about a couple of them today, but one of the best ways is getting yourself a health and fitness instructor, or health instructor, fitness instructor. What's a health instructor? Okay, a health instructor basically gets you a plan to do the right things to be healthy. It could be a nutritionist. They could recommend sleep. They could recommend the things you drink, the things you put in your body, that kind of stuff. They're a health person. They could say, hey, guess what? Lay off the sugar, lay off the salt. They send you to a doctor. They get you, that kind of thing. So health coaching is a whole separate thing than a fitness instructor. A fitness instructor is actually going to get you into the gym, and you're going to be hitting the weights, man. Hitting the weights, running, stretching, that kind of stuff. And both of them are just so needed in. So here's the deal. If you want to be an NFL quarterback, you're going to surround yourself with the best coaches, because you know that if you don't do that, that 265-pound defensive end that gets paid to hit you, he's going to hit you. That's all there is to it. So you're going to get the best quarterback coach you can get, the best offensive coordinator you can get. You're going to get the best left or right tackle to defend you, okay? You're not going to play around, because this is you. You are a highly tuned animal that needs to be protected. Let's talk about you doing the exact same thing for your body, your mind, your physical thing, your mind, at whatever you're doing right now. If you want to be a writer, guess what? You've got to do the same thing. You can't expect to be a great writer if you can't stay up at night. And the way you stay up at night is you work out during the day to get your head clear. You get your body in shape. A physical body that is in shape, that is finely tuned, that is well-oiled, that is taken care of, does so much better than somebody who's like smoking a cigarette. Those days are gone, guys. Smoking a cigarette, smoking pot, drinking, a quart of beer, or a quart of whiskey every night, and smoking a joint. Those days are gone, guys. Really, they are gone. They were fun while they lasted, but they're gone. Today's athlete, today's professional you, is a much more finely tuned animal. Many of you probably can guess how old I am. I'm a lot older than I look. I hope I'm not. But my parents at this age right now were pretty beat up. They were beat up. They were busted. And we learned from their generation that you sitting around all day long, waiting for life to happen and waiting to do a job and not working out before you go out to work or at all during the week, that just doesn't work. As a matter of fact, I've been working out for how many years since I was in high school for sure, but I never stopped. I never stopped working out. I've always been a person who's always been physically active, and now I'm over 60 now, folks. I'm going to just tell you that. I'll tell you I'm over 60. And many of my friends I go to reunions very rarely anymore, just because I don't like to look at, not because I don't like my friends. I mean, I've known some friends for forever. But when I see some of them, I go, oh my gosh. I mean, they're in walkers. And I got aches and pains just like anybody else, right? I mean, I'm still 60-something years old. But I've got friends who are just broken and busted. And it's a tough reminder to look at them and then them look at me and then them say, dude, did you ever age? And then I look in the mirror and I go, well, heck yeah. Yeah, I aged. Are you kidding me? Look at these. I don't have any wrinkles or anything like that because we don't have wrinkles like most folks get. Okay. But yes, I did age. Ask my kids, ask my grandkids, ask my great grandchild. If that gives you any idea how old I am. But we are a generation that learned from our parents that we could not continue to live the way they lived and expect to do better. So now I'm here telling you guys that one of the things you need to do is to begin to look at your life and take a step back and go, hey, I'm a professional. I'm a professional me. And what do I need to do to continue to live and to excel in life and to be just a monster? And in most cases, it's really just to take an active look at your lifestyle. What are you doing in your lifestyle that you need to change? And if not, I'm going to be back in just a minute. I'm going to tell you some concrete things that you can do. I do these every day, guys. These are pretty much, I can do these in my sleep. But I'll tell you what I do in my life to get my physical man up, okay? So this has been Sherman Wright, Black Success Magazine, the podcast. We'll be back just a minute. Folks, we're back. It's Sherman Wright, Black Success Magazine podcast. Thank you all for being here and being a part of the show. If you'd like to check out what we're doing, Black Success Magazine podcast, some of you are watching us right now on YouTube. Thank you so much. Smash that subscribe button. Subscribe to our channel, and you'll get updates all the time about what we're doing with the show. And every time we put out a new show, you'll actually get an update when we're doing it. You can actually go to our website at blacksuccessmagazine.com. That's blacksuccessmagazine.com. Next year, we're actually going to have a full version of the website up, and it's still pretty cool. So you can go there. You can catch us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, that kind of stuff. So definitely do that. On our website, you can actually get the podcasts, so they're on there. You can actually go to Apple Podcast, that kind of stuff. I really encourage you. I was so pleased when I saw that our podcast not only is doing well, but I mean, a lot of people listen to us. I'm just so flabbergasted that people are actually watching us. They're watching the videos and they are watching, they're listening to the podcast. And I hope you're getting something out of it. I really do. Let's talk a little bit about, we're talking today about health and fitness, and I guess I should have given this thing a better title, but we're really talking more about, investing in yourself, and specifically we're talking about health and fitness instructors. So one of the things that I do to feed my mind, folks, is I'm actually starting to listen to podcasts all day long. Yeah, because I can do that. I can listen to things while I'm doing other stuff in during my day. Is I can listen to podcasts, and I listen to a very a wide variety of speakers. But the reason why I do that is because you need to feed your mind. You want to feed your mind great things. We talked about this in a podcast before, where we were saying, if you want to build great children, feed them. Feed them great things. Feed them inspiring things that will inspire them to greatness, which is just great. You have to do that. And so something I want to dovetail on this also is our speech, the way we speak, really tells the world a lot about us. Now, there are people who come to this country who are come here from far-flung places, faraway places. They can come here from Australia, Italy, Africa, Brazil, Jamaica, where my family's from. And people will treat you differently because of the way you speak, especially African Americans or Black Americans who are here in America, who were born here in America, but live in, So what I'm trying to be as delicate as I can be. Some of you are probably listening to me going, what's he talking about? We need to be very conscious of the way we speak so that we sound intelligent. Some of our founding fathers, some of the greats of yesteryear, W.E.B. Du Bois, or Du Bois, George Washington Carver, guys like that, Frederick Douglass. All of these guys all prided themselves, were very proud of the fact that they sounded very smart. They prided themselves on being very well read. And we're raising a generation of kids that sound worse than our parents did. I mean, they really do. I listen to young people all the time, not just a few times a week, all the time. I listen to kids all the time. Teenagers, and they sound horrible, just horrible. Some of them, and it's not all of them, of course, it's not all of them, but it's enough to make you very concerned. It's like, where were you born at? You live in America. You obviously are growing here up in America, but you sound terrible. So it's really important, folks. I'm trying to be very delicate as I can be, but we can only expect to be treated the way we sound, and we can't expect the world. I don't want to hear anybody say this. You need to accept me the way I am, because I sound ghetto and I'm smart, and you got to treat me. No, they don't, folks. Here's the dirty little truth. No, they don't, and they won't. And we need to be smarter than that. We're not selling out. We are Africans and people of color are the ones who brought about speech. We brought about writing, intellectual discourse. We are the ones who invented all this stuff, and yet we need to hold ourselves to a higher standard. The Harlem education system. There's a school, the Harlem. Oh gosh, I'm going on a tangent here. I don't want to, but there is a education system in Harlem where they have cracked the code on how to get smart black kids in the inner city, and they're being crushed because they cracked the code. They're just astonishing. So anyways, I've just got a couple more minutes, and I started going on a tangent. I shouldn't have done that, but I do sometimes. For you to get, I was going to tell you about how my regimen on what I do. I don't have sugar in my diet. I just recently cut out all sugar. I have a sugar substitute. I have monk sugar, and there's other sugar substitutes. But sugar creates inflammation, all kinds of crazy things in your body. And I'm not a nutritionist, but I know this enough to say that sugar diabetes is not it does not come from you eating candied yams. Okay, it's from sugar. Sugar is out of my diet. Salt, added salt in anything. They put salt in pretty much anything, anyways. So I don't add more salt into anything. So a couple of things I've taken out of my diet. I've limited my use of caffeine. I used to be a 10-pot, a cup drinker of coffee. I have coffee once a week now. I really do. It's tough, but I used to own a coffee shop, so I used to be a coffee roaster. So it's very tough for me to give up coffee, but I had to do that. And the reason why we do that, at least those last couple of them, is because of high blood pressure, hypertension, especially in black folks, that we tend to have a lot more of that. So we need to basically eat more green stuff, less red stuff, less meat, more fish, more chicken, and fish. And those things will actually help us out tremendously. No more fried food. We don't need to have the fried food so much. All those good things that we thought were just the greatest things in the world, fried chicken and greasy, foods like that, French fries, anything that is on the outside of the aisles, on the inside of the aisles. When you go shopping, the first place where you normally go to, the produce section, if you just live in there, that is your space now. Live in the produce section. Green stuff, red stuff, black stuff. We're talking about fruits and vegetables. As much of that as you can possibly get into you. And then, of course, go over to the protein section. Get proteins. Not so much dairy anymore, because dairy really is meant for, that's right, cows. It's meant to grow cows. So the milk, dairy stuff, that's no longer a part of my diet. If you can begin to look at your lifestyle as being healthy, think about yourself as a pro athlete. Would a pro athlete eat Snickers bars? No, they wouldn't. Would a pro athlete, have a bunch of greasy food all the time? No. Think of yourself as a pro athlete, as a pro version of you, because that's what you are. You're a pro. As far as working out goes, whatever you do, find something that you like to do and you could do every day. Don't try to get involved in something that is going to hurt you and you're not going to be able to sustain that thing. I used to be a runner until I hurt my knees. And I ran from the time I was 18 till I was about 55. So that's a long time. So it was like 37 years that I was a runner. Marathons, that kind of thing. So I was a long distance runner, loved running. Still to this day. If I could run to this day, I would do it. But physically, I just wore out my knees. So now I ride a bicycle, and I can ride all day long. That's my jam now. Love to ride. Snow, heat, raining, snowy, whatever, I can do it. And so I do that every single day, or most days. About 20 miles in the morning. That is something I've found that I can sustain for my own self. But whatever you do, find something that you can do that burns the calories, that takes about, you can do it 3 or 4 days of the week, 4 or 5 days of the week, to get this heart pumping. Hit the weights. I'm starting to now, because I'm actually a pretty big guy. I mean, it doesn't look like it on the video here, but I'm a pretty big guy. I'm about 7 foot tall. No, I'm not. I'm just joking, folks. But I can get pretty big physically because I just have one of those structures. So I try to do light weights, but the reason why you do that is because as you grow older, you're losing muscle mass. And I found now that once I hit over 50 years of age, that really my muscle mass is diminished like drastically. And so people have been telling me, they're going, dude, you're getting kind of skinny. They look at your legs, they're pretty skinny. Even though I can ride 100 miles. But I don't have the muscle mass now. So now I have to get in the gym and start pushing and pumping weights to keep the muscle tone, the muscle mass. And that protects me too. It protects my joints. And it protects me when I'm riding my bike too. So when in doubt, get with a health coach or a fitness coach that will get with you and develop a training regimen for you to help you become the best you can possibly be. Anyways, hey folks, this has been Sherman Ray for Black Success Magazine podcast. I want to thank you all for being a part of the show. We will see you again a couple more days where we'll talk about being the best you that you can be. Okay, we'll talk to you later, folks. Bye-bye.